Hello people, my name is Ben, and this is Transistor. Because it was such a short game, this is on New Game Plus at the moment, which means I have all of my powers and such, or all of the ones that I unlocked at least. So, you know, very minor spoilers in that sense, but other than that, and a few of these enemies, nothing should really be spoiled at all. So it's all good for the most part. Just gonna do breach.
Okay, let's go. Unmarked alley, east of the bay. Think I know where we are.
I don't want to progress too much because, well, I don't really want to show you too much, even though, you know, everyone who came to the stream saw everything, but of course that's a complete option whether you want to come or not, and for a game like this, I don't blame people at all if they don't want to come and watch somebody else play it before playing it themselves. So it was a fairly short game. I completed it in 7 hours. However, not only do I have New Game Plus now to go through, or recursion mode as it's known here, but there's a ton of different challenges and such.
More trouble. Look, don't fret, just...
I really like this. Just another nice little touch for New Game Plus. You get the ideas, and yeah, you can do a lot of stuff now, far more than you could before. And I just think that's awesome that they put that in there. Let's see. Okay. There. Should kill him. Assuming everything goes as planned. Fantastic.
Not yet.
Oh. Almost. But let's try. Always good to try and get away from that. And the snapshot, that is the thing that's bringing up those annoying pictures whenever it actually hits me with an attack. There we go. The gameplay is fantastic. What? There we go, got it. It's really good. It's better than Bastion, that's for sure.
Hey, what do you see?
Or it's at least different. And just from what I'm hearing, I think it might be slightly different dialogue. Now, whether that's just because it's different for New Game Plus or what, I'm not too sure. Unlock another passive slot. And that cool. Anyway, okay, so you saw some gameplay there. I don't want to show too much more. In conclusion, my final thoughts on this game were, it is absolutely incredible. It's just fucking amazing. Oh my god, Supergiant Games have proven with this that they're not just a one-hit wonder developer with Bastion, and they don't just do the same thing over and over. Yeah, they've got the guy who did the narration for Bastion as the sword in this, who sort of fulfills a similar purpose.
Hey, up there.
I just wanted to get to a part where there was some...
World.
There we go.
Look at all that.
Some sort of
We're on the edge
music.
of town, 100 blocks away.
Because the music is just, oh, it's so good. I might even call it better than Bastion, I don't know. They're both incredible pieces of music, pieces of soundtrack, and I highly recommend you buy both of those soundtracks. I bought this soundtrack pretty much immediately along with the game, which was actually gifted to me by a viewer, which is fantastic. It was a late birthday present. Viewer and a friend for a long time. Anyway, so the game as a whole is just... I don't really have any complaints, which is why I'm so so tempted to say that it's just so perfect. I didn't really find any obvious problems. Like, I'm sure there were a few little annoyances that I had, but they're so minor that I can't even remember them. Just everything comes together so well. I don't know, the combat might be like a little bit difficult to get into at first for some people. For me, it was fairly self-explanatory. That was one of the things, the menu system for upgrading and stuff, and doing implementing various abilities onto different abilities. I think that menu could have been better. I think its length is fine. It's a perfect length. $20 game. You can judge it. You know, you can say that, hey, 6 to 7 hours, or even less if you're really rushing it, which you really shouldn't, isn't worth it. But to me, yes, it is, because I'd rather a game that length, that doesn't drag itself out, that is just high quality all the way through, than a game that does drag itself out, or like a really, really long game with tons of game hours designed to be in it that are mostly filler, and that's what makes it just not a very good game. This doesn't really have any filler, it's all good. It's all really, really good. The artwork, the soundtrack, the voice acting. There are like 2, maybe 3 voice actors in the entire thing, and they're all fantastic. And you might think that they're rehashing the kind of same concept with having the Transistor as narrating the thing. And he's not really a narrator, he's an actual character. He talks to Red, who is a pre-existing character. The kid in Bastion didn't really have too much of a backstory to him. He wasn't really a character who was set in the world, so when the narrator talked like that, you felt he was more talking to you. In this, the sword is obviously talking to Red, the character, not so much to you. And that's a very different feeling, and some people might not like that quite as much, but I would much rather a different one that, you know, for some people might not be as good, than them rehashing the same concept and being that company that, oh, has the narrator for every single game. And the combat is very different, as you just saw, with the planning stages and such. Just the way all of the combat and abilities work is fantastic. The way every single ability can be either used as its own main ability, it can be used to modify / upgrade a different ability, or it can be used as a passive. And that just opens up incredible amounts of combinations. It is absolutely insane. And one of the things I loved most of all was that you are incentivized to use as many different combinations as possible, because when you use an ability, basically each ability is tied to a different character in the world, and when you use an ability, you get some of the backstory. So, like, you'll get 1 paragraph of backstory, and then say you just use that as an active ability, as one of your main ones. Now you have to use that ability as a passive and as an upgrade / modifier for one of your other abilities. You have to use it in those 2 different ways to get the rest of the backstory for that character. And that means that you can't do that without it, which means you need to change up your playstyle and strategy just to actually get that backstory. And that's great. That's a great way of incentivizing people, because the backstory isn't necessary. It's awesome and it's great world building, as is pretty much everything in this. But it's not necessary. You can just stick with the same thing if you want. And towards the end, I kind of settled into this set of abilities that I really liked. They're obviously not being shown at the moment, but you just saw them before. And now with New Game Plus, I'm probably going to mix and match more so I can get the entire backstory for every single character. And that's going to be a ton of fun. It's such a great game. Best one I've played this year so far, maybe? Possibly. I don't know, Supergiant Games, man, they are just... Oh, they're such good developers. They put so much heart and effort and work into it. The fact that you can make Red, this is one of the few places where you can't, but in most places you can hold down the hum button, which is LB, and make Red just hum to the song that is playing, and she hums along with it, so the humming goes with the specific part of it. It's not just like a generic one, and that is awesome. It's such a nice little bit of detail, as are so many other things in the game that really didn't need to be there. The artwork's amazing, the voice acting is amazing, the soundtrack is, the combat is fantastic. It's such a cool and unique idea that, you know, kind of plays on things that have come before, like Diablo in terms of, you know, or like Diablo 3 specifically, I guess, where you've got the 4 main abilities, but then it expands upon that in such a great way. Makes it very active. You use the transistor way more like a sword. Way more like a staff, something to cast the abilities rather than an actual sword where you just swing it. It's not like that in any way. It just kind of looks like it in its design. So yeah, that's Transistor. I really liked it, as you can tell. I didn't get this video up before I actually started it, because before I started it on stream I didn't play it at all because I didn't want anything to be spoiled for me, and yeah, I'm very glad that I didn't. I wanted my first interactions were to be of it, to be on stream, and that was definitely worth it. It was fantastic. So yeah, Watch Dogs is next. No, it can't live up to this no matter what, I don't think. Well, not no matter what, but from what I've already seen, it definitely can't. I'm not buying into the hype, I'm just gonna go and play it. So I'll make another video on Watch Dogs fairly soon, and hopefully, the highlights of Dark Souls 2 and such will definitely continue. Thank you so much for watching all of them and all of my videos. Thanks a lot. That's what I thought of Transistor. Go out and buy it. I'll put the link for it in the description because it's really, really good and you should get it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.